Hey guys, it's Jay with Master of Tone Pedal Demos. Today I thought I'd take you in a little bit different direction and show you how I plan out my worship sets each week, how I plan out the parts I'm going to play, the pedals I'm going to use, and when I'm going to use them. For all you worship guitarists out there that have a hard time with this or don't know how to go about it, hopefully today will help you get some insight into how I do things and how you can maybe plan your pedals and parts out as well. So let's go ahead and take a look here at my worship set for this week. Here at our church, we have 30 minutes set aside for music in our service. So we do usually 3 songs. The reason we do that many songs rather than trying to do more is so that we can have some spirit-led time, some time to kind of expand upon songs if we want to do that. So usually we only do 3 songs. So on our rehearsal day, I come in early. I am the worship pastor here, so I'm here all day. I come in early and I sit down with my pedals and with my guitar and with the songs that we're going to play for the week and plan them out. So I'd like to show you how I do that. So let's go ahead and get down here with the pedals and I'll show you all those things. So for the set this week that we're doing No Longer Slaves, Pieces, and Do It Again. So all 3 of those songs are in the key of B. So me being a singer, I like to be able to not have to think about the guitar as much once I get to Sunday. So for this particular set, since it's all in the same key, it's all in B, I like to put the capo on fret number 4, and I'm going to play all these with kind of G shapes today. So the first song we're doing is No Longer Slaves, and I always kind of like to start with my bass clean tone, just to make sure that everything's sounding the way I want it to. So I always have the EQ on, and I always use the compressor. Now I will say my amp is a Vox AC4 TV head. You can see it back there. The cabinet is in the closet in a soundproof box that's mic'd up, and then I'm playing the Modern Player Telecaster today. So this is my basic clean tone that I always start with. So that's my starting point. And now for this particular song, well really for any song, I like to always start with my clean tone and then my overdrive pedals. So on my board I have kind of 3 different overdrive pedals. I've got the Morning Glory, JHS Morning Glory on this side of this custom recase. I've got this JHS modded Soul Food on this side, and then I have the Kilt. So I use all 3 of those interchangeably depending on the song, depending on what the song calls for. Now this one, No Longer Slaves, is clean most of the song, but I do kick on some overdrive in the instrumental and to the bridge to the end. So for this particular one, I like to use the Morning Glory, just because it's not as punchy of an overdrive, but it's got some grit to it. And I kind of always leave this set up the same way. I just kind of like the way it sounds, how it's set up. The only thing I'll do different, depending on the guitar I'm playing, I might flip the high cut on or off. For this particular guitar, it is a little bit more bright, so I flick that high cut on. And it sounds like this. So not a lot of grit, but it's adding some, and then when I kick it to the bridge position near the end, that's when it gets real kind of big. So I know that's the overdrive I'm going to use. So next I go to my delays. I have 2 different delays on my board. I have the Boss DD20 recased by one of my good friends. It's a really cool looking pedal. And then I have the Strymon El Capistan. So being a singer, I always kind of like to have my stuff set up as simply as possible. So I used to do where I'd have a completely different style delay and kind of delay in every song. But these days, to kind of keep it simple, I found a sound I really like on this and a sound I really like on this. So I kind of keep them the same. But I will start off with the DD20 setting the BPM of the song and getting the delay where I like it. So I know this song is the BPM is 74. We use multi-tracks to run our tracks and run our clicks. And so I always consult that, and that says the song's in 74. So I'll take it down to 74, and I always keep this pedal most of the time in an analog delay setting and a quarter note delay. So I keep it real dark, and I kind of like to have the level back and the feedback up a good bit. So it sounds like this when I'm using that delay pedal. So it's there, but it's not in your face. I can kind of play some faster chords, and it's not going to get in the way. Now on this song, I like to use 2 delays stacked on each other. So my El Capiston is set up in a dotted eighth delay, and I've got the repeats pretty high. I keep a big knob on here so I can kind of control the mix depending on how I want it. So I kind of like the mix there, and I'll sync it up with the DD20. They just kind of have that kind of back and forth with the dotted eighth and quarter note delays. So I like those there, and so that will be my setting for that song. And I might turn off the El Capiston when we get big into the building part, big into the strumming. But for the beginning, definitely have them both on. Now my Big Sky pedal, which I love, it's got some great sounds on it. But because I'm a singer, like I said, I can't be down here a lot during the set, and I can't be jumping banks and banks and banks. So I like to keep it simple. So I found three settings that I really, really like, and I kind of keep it in this particular preset setting. So I've got one setting that's a small cloud that has that cloud setting, but it's more amp-like. It's not in your face. I have a medium setting, which is very similar to that first setting, just with the mix up higher. And I've got the same thing where I can control the mix knob. If I want to make it more or less reverb, I can turn that as well. And then my third setting here is a Stardust. It's a shimmer delay. Shimmer reverb, I'm sorry. Useful in some situations, but for this particular song, I like to keep it on the medium cloud setting. So I'll have the medium cloud setting, the El Capiston, the DD20. That's how I'll start the song. In the middle position there. You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with song. Pretty cool. Now there's a couple parts in this song that I don't always play depending on who's playing guitar with me, but there's a part in the second verse that I know goes like this. So I'll have that ready, and then if I'm going to play the parts in the chorus too, it goes like this. So I've got those parts down. I usually practice those and sing over them just to make sure I've got it down. And then by the end of the song, we start to build it bigger. At that point, I'll switch off the El Capiston, go to my bridge pickup, and then we'll just play big chords to the end. And those are my settings for the first song. So I'll write that setting on my Giga delay so that I can just jump right to it. And then we'll go over the next song, song number 2. Song number 2 that we're doing this week is Pieces, which is BPM 72. So I'll go ahead and keep that same delay setting that I really like, but I'll set them both to 72. And I use both those delays again for that song. I use the medium cloud setting for this one as well, but then I'll add one more thing here. I'll add the pitchfork. Now on the live recording and some of the studio recordings of this song, I know that they use a Walrus Audio Julia chorus on the lead guitar part. I don't have a Julia chorus, but the pitchfork can kind of do the job. So if I set it on the detune setting and kind of turn it up the blend and keep the octave mode in the middle, I get a really good, really cool sounding chorus. It sounds like this. So I'll pair that with the delay and the reverb. And I'll use that for the beginning part. If I can play it right. Now I'll kind of have that setting for the beginning of the song, but once we start kicking it in big in the bridge, building back up to the big chorus, that's when I'll turn the pitchfork off. I'll get some overdrive back on from the Morning Glory. By the time we build that big up, I'll turn the El Capistan off, and then there's a solo part at the end that I sometimes play. And for that particular solo part, I'll push on the boost side of the kilt, which just pushes the Morning Glory a little harder, and that sounds like this. So, and then even maybe, depending on how big we make it, I might do a little bit of the tremolo picking. And that's it for that song. So the third song we're doing this week is Do It Again, which I really love, and I get to do a little bit more with this one as well, a little bit more tap dancing. This song I know is, I'll write that one on the second one here first. And then this song, the BPM is 86 beats per minute. So I'll set that at 86, kind of keep my sounds the same. And I will use both delays and the medium cloud again on this one, but I will switch to the small cloud for when the song gets to that guitar interlude part. Now this one, I get to do a little bit cool stuff. I get to do some EBow at the beginning. So I'll use the EBow, and I'll kind of have it set up on the bridge pickup here. Kind of have it set like that. And do some really kind of washy stuff there at the beginning with the EBow. And then this one I do more kind of chords once the band comes in. Walking around these walls, I thought by now they'd fall. So do some bigger chords like that, real kind of washy. Your promise still stands, great is your faithfulness, faithfulness. Let's kind of get that going. And then it kind of goes to that guitar interlude like I talked about. So I'll switch to the small cloud, turn that delay off, go to the bridge position, and then that's when we kick it in. Big to the end there. So I'll set that, write that into my number 3 spot here on the DD20, and then I always like to kind of keep my manual setting at 120. So if I can tap it in if I ever want to use it. If I ever want to go to something else, I can keep it there. But that's the way I go. So then what I do from there is I just run through each of the songs, practice the parts that I'm going to play. And then when we come together as a team and play all together, I'm ready to roll. I hope you guys like this video. I hope it helps you get some kind of idea of how to set your pedals, how to practice your parts. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my videos. Go watch some of the other ones. I've got some great ones on some other pedals, especially some pedals on this board, the Kilt and the Pitchfork in particular, where I show you everything they can do. Like I said, thanks for watching. Keep watching. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.